Hi guys, welcome back. We are going to be talking about Jonah today, specifically Jonah chapter 1 verses 1 through 3. They say this, "And it happened that the word of Yahweh came to Jonah, the son of Amittai, to tell him, 'Quickly get up, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry out concerning it, because their evil has come before me.' So Jonah got up and quickly ran in the direction of Tarshish to get away from Yahweh. He went down to Joppa and found a boat coming to Tarshish. After paying the fare, he went down into the boat so that he could go with them to Tarshish to get away from Yahweh." Now, I really love the book of Jonah. And currently, I am teaching through Jonah at my microchurch Filter. And so this has given me an excuse to write about all the details that I couldn't fit into the times where we were gathering together. Because for such a short book, Jonah makes a great impact. Now, there's several reasons for this. You could point out how it strategically does not use names or many details, and that gives it a timeless feel. Or the fact that it ends with a question, and even though that question is addressed to Jonah, it's also addressed to the reader. But the aspect I want to focus on today that gives it such power is how the author wonderfully weaves each word to tell the story of a wayward prophet. While this can be seen throughout the entire book, I want to focus on two words that may seem insignificant in these first three verses: the word go and the word coming. The story begins with God commanding Jonah to quickly get up and go. Now, I'm not going to dive into the meaning of the Hebrew word for go, halak, because that's what it means. It means go. But what I do want to point out is what the word implies. You see, like the English word go, it has an implication of leaving a place and heading in the direction of another. What I mean is, if I say I'm going to the store, I'm saying that I'm going to leave my house and start heading in the direction of the store. God's command, which has an implication of urgency in how it is written in Hebrew, was for Jonah to get up, quickly leave where he was, and go fast to Nineveh. And of course, we find out that Jonah, he obeyed the first part of that command. He gets up. And it even looks like at first that he's responding to the urgency of God's command, because we're told he began to run only to flee in the opposite way God had sent him. What the author does in verse 3 is to show how Jonah intentionally does everything opposite of what God told him. And to illustrate this, the author of Jonah tells us that the boat Jonah hitches a ride on is coming to Tarshish. This little word choice should seem weird. When you buy tickets for a plane, you don't buy tickets for a plane that's coming to your destination, right? You find tickets for a plane going to your destination. Because while both words have similar meanings, they have opposite nuances. And just like how we discussed go having a nuance of leaving a place, come has the nuance focused on arriving at the place that you're going. This is true in Hebrew as well, where in the command the word go is used, halak, but in verse 3, the word for come, bo, which again is the opposite of what God has said, is being used. So even in the choice of words to describe the boat Jonah finds, the author shows how Jonah's flight from God is the opposite of what God commanded him. And as Christians, we have a few commands for ourselves. We're called to love God and love people. We're called to make disciples. We're called to be beacons of hope in a dark world. And while we may not be rushing to take the next train, plane, or automobile to run away from these callings, we often can get caught coming to our comfortable spaces instead of going to where we have to put in effort. Our ships, the Tarshish, often are small things that suck our attention away from what God has put before us. So let us be a people who quickly get up and go where God leads, not a people who quickly get up to come to our comforts. Thank you again for watching. If you like it, please subscribe. Again, below you should find links for the audio or a written version of what you just heard. Please share it with other people if you found this a blessing, and I'll see you next week.